Hi there. Um, this is going to be a talk, as you can see from the picture, about coronavirus. This is going to be about the game of it, and it's such an obvious game. You know, if you want to, some people are really stupid. It's like you get some people that can see the whole picture. The more awake people, those people that have had big, unexpected spiritual awakenings. And then you get the people that aren't awake yet, and they don't see the game. It's like they're seeing the pixels, but they're not seeing the whole picture. They're not seeing where things are going. They're not seeing the obvious that is in your face. The game is to impose vaccinations. That's obviously the game. This game of coronavirus, remember, everything comes from the top. Everything has to be made up by somebody. Everything is designed and orchestrated so that it affects whoever they're trying to affect. This is the way it is. Even if it was a so-called natural thing. Do you really think intelligent people that run the world would let that happen if they didn't want it to happen? Remember, even if you're not aware, everything has to come from something or somewhere, and everything is made up, and everything comes from the top. Now, the top, that doesn't mean that a bunch of people in a system are deciding it. Sometimes the top can be by accident. I personally think that we live in a simulation, and the matrix is a distorted energy field, and that in fact is the real system, and that orchestrates all governments. I think that's the real, and it's changing with this awakening, and that's why, possibly, why you have crazy people that may or may not make this up in a laboratory. I'm not saying it is or isn't, but because of the distorted energy field, that is why everything is the way that it is. And I think what's happening, there's a transition period where we're going through an awakening. Some people have had unexpected spiritual awakenings. I, for one, had that and still going through it. Because once you return to this, there's so much healing that's going on. But you're able to see the whole picture now, where most people don't. They're like lost in it. Very good scientists and doctors who are, they're not on the front line. Don't let the system rubbish you. They're not on the front line. Everyone is on the bloody front line. These people are what have led to this mess. Don't listen to anyone that works for the system. Because these people, if these people would have done their job properly, this wouldn't have happened. If you would have cut off all supplies and all contact with the source of it, then you wouldn't have it. Like I say, everything is designed. Do you really think that intelligent people would let it get to that when all they had to do was stop communications with China? Do you think, if they didn't want that to happen, it wouldn't happen. Got in because it's designed. And it's so obvious to see it. I mean, I can't believe how stupid people are. This coronavirus outbreak has really revealed the madness of the masses. And how they are crazy, they are insane. For all we know, this could be just a social experiment, a psychological experiment. Create an outbreak, kill some people off, and then we see where the people are psychologically. And this would have this ticks all that boxes. See, some people, it's like I say, that many just, they don't see the picture and they don't see where things are going, even if it's in your face. It's like you get some men that could be with a woman, the woman's obviously not into them, and they don't see it and they think they are. You get some people that are just blind. Just stupid people. And it's to me, it's obvious what it's all about. It's all about having a situation like it is. You got panic buying, you've got coronavirus, you've got deaths, you've got shops closing, and all this stuff is creating panic, and that's, of course, they knew that was going to happen. Financially as well. And then you've got a situation where you've only got one option left, and which is the smart grid. And you see, I mean, they want to impose that, and there's too many people against it. And why do they want to impose that? Well, because they want to connect the brain with AI by 2030. Therefore, the AI becomes human perception. They want an AI controlled world. And they've already got it. So that's what I say. It's like create the problem. You've already got the solution, and you're going to get a reaction. So, and that's exactly what is going on. And I can't say whether it's made up in a laboratory or if it's natural. I don't know that information. But I do know one thing. I do know that, you know, we wouldn't have had an outbreak if it wasn't designed. You're not telling me that people that run the world are going to it would have come to this unless it's designed. So it's obvious to me that it's designed. Anything that happens in the world is by design. It doesn't matter if it's coronavirus or a physical war or whatever. It's all designed, because you got people that are running the show that know what they're doing, and they make it look like it's natural. You know, even if something is natural, you can put two natural things together and create an evil potion. So everything's actually at the core of everything. Yes, it might start as natural, but then you put them together and they create a poison. Which is what science is, isn't it? You're taking natural things and making them into chemicals by mixing them together, and you know, boom, you know. But everything has to be designed and orchestrated by something, and there is a herb plant cure for everything as well, which would be very, very harmonious for us all. But they want to impose vaccinations. Now, you got to ask yourself, why do they want to impose vaccinations? What is in the vaccination? Remember, if it's vaccinations scientifically made, and that means if they want to connect the brain with AI, they could make that vaccination so that it's got chemicals in it, so that it connects us with AI without us realizing it. Can't take the word of what's in it. They work for the system. They work for the government. It's obvious to me what this is, like I say, what this is about. It's all about, you know what's going to happen next after someone like this. You're going to have a demand for vaccinations, and God help anyone who tries to say no to the vaccine. I mean, what are people going to say when it comes to, you know, when we're remembering all the soldiers that fought in all the wars? You can't say we're free now, surely. You're not going to say that, are you? I mean, I'm waiting for that to come round. And I feel sorry for these soldiers, because imagine what they'd be thinking if they were spirits looking at this. They'd be thinking, we died for this madness, for this insanity. People taking all the toilet roll or whatever. It's like I say, this really shows how insane people are. David Icke's got a saying, and he says, know the outcome and you'll see the journey. And I just wanted to add that into, and that's kind of like what I go through, you know. If you can be present, you can actually start to see insights into things, and you can start to see the journey. And this is pretty much what I do. I'm very present. I meditate a lot, and this actually shows me things and gives me insight into things and clarity into things. And this is how I'm able to see clearly. This is how I can see the obvious thing. Most people are insane and they don't see the obvious. They don't. And you got people like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember, he was in politics. Remember, putting on his YouTube, don't listen to the moron, listen to the experts. Well, these experts, these so-called experts, give us 5G, man. Yeah, they give us 5G. And look what's happened. Look what's happened. And I tell you, 5G should be put in the mix, because 5G at 60 gigahertz, and this is a fact, you can look this up, microwaves the oxygen molecules. Meaning that basically it messes up the oxygen, but you've got to breathe that in. So it's, and this can bring on respiratory flu type things. And so that should be put into the mix also. But the system would have you listen to everything they say and not listen to any other opinion. That's why YouTube have come out now and say, if you say anything against coronavirus that isn't their information, then it's not allowed. Well, I'm going to continue speaking about it, because I don't believe the official story of anything. You know what I mean? Because why would you? I mean, any sensible person would look at these people and think they're insane. So no, I don't listen to politicians. I listen to what's within me. That's what I do. And to what you feel in this moment. And that's why this exists, this thing, I believe. I think that, see, if you look at the whole picture, you'll see the climate change, all the horrible stuff happening in the world, all the fear things, and this is another thing, and it's obvious that it's to lock down. That's what they're saying now, locking down. They want to lock down the people that aren't awake, because the system knows that it's game over. You see, it's game over. There's an awakening happening, and this is obvious to me. The whole thing is just not just coronavirus, but all the different things, the frightening things, are so that to start an attempt to stop any global awakening. And but the problem with what the system's done, because the system obviously isn't very bright in realness, is that people will be forced to wake up now as well. See, what you find is with people that are narcissistic and that are trying to impose something, they leave themselves open because they're trying to force something, you see. And this is symbolic of the system and how it operates. You know, I believe, like I said earlier in the video, I believe that everything is orchestrated by energy, emotion, and that it's a distorted emotion system which is creating all this. And what's happening, there's a confusion, there's a change happening. And that's why this is going on. And the politicians and all these scientists and stuff, they're just in the matrix. They're being controlled by this system, by this energy system, this emotional messed upness system. And they're not awake yet, you see. And that's why this is happening. It's something that we are meant to experience, because once you experience the bad, you then understand how the bad operates, and then you can come to the light. Right? And everything's just the same thing, but this is what the system's scared of. It's scared of oneness. It's scared of togetherness. That's why they don't want you to communicate. This is what another thing this does, is stop people communicating. You see? I said last year, that the system doesn't want people interacting because of the global awakening, and I predicted something like this would happen. I didn't know it was going to be an illness. But this is exactly that. It's doing that. So this is why it would make perfect sense for this to have been created in the lab or something. But if it wasn't, then it gives the system the platform to do what they want to do. And God help anyone who tries to refuse that vaccine. Help anyone who tries to say no to that. Just think of it. Think of someone trying to say no to that vaccine. But think of that. And I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you for watching.